Hello, Internet. I'm Matt.
And I'm Monster Punter.
And this is the Parallax Scrolling Podcast, where we give you our perspective on video games and the news that affects them. And we have some interesting stuff to talk about, mainly from you guys. From y'all. We'll get us some southern drawl and hire y'all. But before we do that, we got to talk to each other. Because it's been a bit. Hi.
Hi.
Fidget games?
What?
Fidget games.
I did some video games, yeah.
Yeah? What'd you do? What'd you do for fidget games?
I beat Revenant 2, which had the worst ending I've seen in a long time.
That's actually Remnant 2, not Revenant 2.
Whatever. Remnant 2. Either way, the ending was complete garbage. And then I played some more MechWarrior Online, and I'm about 70-ish to 75%-ish through Unicorn Overlord.
Nice.
So
you're still having fun with that one, though?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Good.
I recommend it to anybody who has a passing interest in Ogre Battle, not the Ogre Tactics game, which is like Final Fantasy Tactics, but the actual Ogre Battle game, or as it was known on the original PlayStation, Tactics Ogre.
Incorrect. Tactics Ogre is the actual strategy RPG for the PlayStation. The SNES title is Ogre Battle March of the Black Queen.
Oh. Okay.
Actually, I literally pushed up my glasses, folks. But yeah, that was for the SNES, which we didn't talk about on our list, but it's because it was in the top 10. Doesn't mean it was in the top awesome.
That was a rare game.
That game was awesome.
SNES
That game was great, but it just wasn't in the top 10.
I never played it, so I really don't have anything to say about it. I should play it now, though.
There's actually a code you could put in at the beginning of the game, like a cheat code kind of thing. It takes you to a one-map mission, and you have some of the wildest classes in the game. It's so much fun.
Maybe I'll download an emulator and play a ROM and play that.
Never couldn't hurt, right?
Yeah.
Well, as far as video games go for me, again, going back to that video, our last video, that took me about a month to edit. So video gaming was happening while I was editing, so I didn't have time to talk to you all about it.
He learned some things while editing, I'm sure.
Yes, like how much Monster irritates me.
What? What?
Let's record this, and then let's have footage, and then let's do that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, anyhow, I got to play 2 games. Both of them Metroidvanias.
Why am I not surprised?
But it made sense that I had to, if I didn't have a good excuse before as to why I've been delaying my Metroidvania list, this was definitely a reason. Especially the first game. I played The Last Faith.
Was it the last game you're going to play?
No, they talk about The Last Faith in the game, like it's a thing that happens in the game. If you like Bloodborne and you've played Blasphemous and you really like that game too, you should play The Last Faith. It is awesome. And it's really, there's only 3 endings, I believe, and they're actually really easy to get. And the bosses are varied enough. There are a couple repeats, but not in such a way that they're like, oh, this is literally a carbon copy fight. But the bosses are very unique, and the fighting style, you can change up your weapons, your sub-weapons, everything. It was really well done. I really like that one. So once I beat that one, I got the true ending, which that's probably the only thing that's bad about it. True ending's kind of doo-doo.
Kind of like Remnant 2.
Yeah, sure.
I actually liked that. I'm sorry to interrupt. I actually liked that game, and that ending turned me on. I uninstalled immediately.
Okay, well,
it was terrible.
The ending didn't make me uninstall Last Faith, but it's just kind of, I was like, I'll just move on. And I did. I moved on to Gestalt, Steam, and Cinder. And I gotta tell you, story's great. The fighting's great. The graphics are great. but they rushed it. They rushed the product. It's you can tell the pacing of the story is so rapid fire that in order for them to explain certain things that are happening in the game, they literally force cutscenes depending on where you go in certain parts. And it's not like a smooth transition. It's just like, I'm running into the next room. Cutscene. Okay. And it doesn't make sense for you to have that knowledge. And yeah, so ultimately it was just like, everything's fantastic. The game sets you up for a sequel, which, in my opinion, any good game should not set you up for a sequel. It should be able to tell the story it has in its one iteration. And then sequels come from that. But
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that take. One of my favorite series, the Trail series, is yeah.
But they wrap up what's happening in each story, like not
over
like
two games typically.
Well, but I'm saying, but not like the massive overarching story. I'm talking about like whatever's currently happening to those characters in that moment that gets wrapped up by the end of that game. Correct?
I could tell you this much that, Trails in the Sky. First chapter, Trails from Zero wraps up pretty good. Now these are the games I'm naming are the first games of each one of the arcs that are in the Trails series.
Right.
So I guess Trails in the Sky first chapter kind of wraps up, but it is kind of like you need to start playing the next one right now kind of still. Trails from Zero wraps up pretty good. Trails of Cold Steel 1 is like a what the hell kind of ending. Okay. Trails of Cold Steel 3 is a literal cliffhanger.
Well, see, and that's where I have the problem. So, like, I think here's my example that I'm going to use, and I'm going to make this both Nintendo and Sega friendly. Okay. You are playing as Mario/Sonic. You go through the game. You get into the final fight, or you're heading up to the final fight with Bowser/Robotnik, and then you're told, "Oh no, this fight will happen in the next game." That's what happened in Gestalt.
Okay, it's not the same.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about when I say like they don't wrap up the story succinctly in the. Like, whatever's happening for that story in that moment, like, Mario needs to beat Bowser to save Princess Peach. It's not going to take him 2-3 games. He's going to do it in one. They really set themselves up so that, like, oh, there's something big behind this door. What's it going to be? Credits.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say the closest thing to that is Trails of Cold Steel 3.
All right, well.
That's a ways into the series, though.
Okay, but that's also usually where fans are kind of like, well, okay, well, I'll stick with it because I'm excited. But I'm talking like for people who are just trying to get into your genre, that's not a good way to go. It's really not.
I'm sure Gestalt will not garner the same hate that Halo 2 did once upon a time.
Okay, yeah. You're right. But still, if they had been able to, even if they lengthened the game, or taken the story that they had going and chopped it up so that, hey, this particular character you've been fighting with this entire time, you finally have a fight with them, and that could have been your final boss, and then you end the story there, and it leads into the next game, that's one thing. But they literally are like, okay, you just beat the final boss, magic door opens, and that's so disappointing. Okay. That's so disappointing. So that's my opinion. I love the game. I had a lot of fun with it, but it was way too fast. The pacing was too fast. They needed to slow down. And it hurts because the two producers for the game are influencers that I've had a lot of respect for over the years. It's kind of like, man, why did you guys put your names to this? Oh, well. Anyhow, sorry if I'm getting quiet and I'm moving away from the microphone or moving around the microphone. I'm bouncy today, so I do apologize. But we have to talk about last week's episode because we got a ton of comments, and by ton I mean 4. So
I guess it's a lot for us.
It is, but they're also lengthy, most of them. So thank you. We're gonna give you your thanks here as we go through them. So first thanks and first comment go to that one dude. Really good video. Nice job editing in the gameplay clips of the games you were talking about. I didn't play that much of the SNES library, but I have played a lot of Kirby games. Superstar is easily one of the best Kirby games, and it has a really good remake on the DS. Well, thank you very much. It took me a month to make this thing happen. So it's nice to hear you guys appreciate it. Thank you. Anything you want to say to that?
I never played the Kirby game.
We gotta get you to play a Kirby game.
I wanted the original Kirby at once upon a time, but I was like, Dad, I want Kirby for Nintendo, and he was like, here, Sega Genesis, and I was like, ooh, Sonic, and then what happened? Then Kirby kind of gotten forgotten about.
So you traded pink for blue, is what you're saying?
It was a good trade.
Yeah. Well, we'll still have to get you to play. Heck, even Kirby Superstar. We'll have to try and get you to play that at some point. That'd be fun. All right. Now, next one. Next thanks and comments. Because one tails onto the other. Come from Tom. Hey, Tom. Thank you for your comments.
As always.
And this is what you have to say. Guys, this is your best video yet. Thank you. However, it brings to mind a challenge for someone who sadly did not have a SNES growing up and missed out on many of the best games ever made. He's surely not talking about me.
I think he's talking about you.
Otherwise, you follow up with Monster. I challenge you to play through my top 10 SNES games that you have not played. And here's his list. Quickly. Number 1, Final Fantasy VI.
Of course.
Number 2, Chrono Trigger.
Of course.
Number 3, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Actually, I have played that. I forgot that I had. I never beat it, though, so I didn't put it on my list.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Number 4, Super Metroid. Number 5, Final Fantasy IV. Number 6, Secret of Mana. 2-player with Matt.
I know, that's like 3-player, which was
It is
really
3-player.
weird back in that time, because
Nobody had the 3-player adapter.
it was a 4-player adapter. It came with Bomberman. You had to have Bomberman to have the 4-player adapter.
So they forced you to have another game in order to get that.
In order to play multiplayer, well, to play 3-player, I imagine you could play 2-player pretty easily, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Okay, number 7, Donkey Kong Country 2. Number 8, Lufia 2. Editing note here. It's Lufia 2 Rise of the Sinestrals.
Oh, gosh.
I pushed up my glasses again. Number 9, Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, which is actually a really good game. Number 10, Earthbound. His runner-ups are Breath of Fire 1 and Kirby Superstar.
Did you know that Super Mario World 2 actually uses a more advanced version of the Super FX chip than Star Fox?
I did not know that.
Yeah, the only reason they were able to make the game the way it was is because of that.
Huh. Cool. Nice to know.
More, just trivia if you ever want to know.
Yep. So then he tags on another comment. Oh, crud. I forgot about Super Mario RPG, and so did Matt. Matt did not forget about Super Mario RPG. How dare you?
Don't.
Jeez. I didn't forget about Super Mario RPG. This is my top 10 games. Super Mario RPG is fantastic. I have a lot of games. That was the problem, is that there were too many options for me to narrow my list down.
Yeah, I was kind of mean to him like that. I had trouble getting to 10.
At least you admit it now. Thank you. Like, I had such a hard time. Like, I gotta whittle this down. I've had, I can think of 30 right now. Oh, no, I gotta whittle it down. That's why I had to make that cheat clause of multi-series into one spot, because, man.
We'll do a top 10 Genesis games before too long.
Yeah, but that's not in the same vein, though, because there's a Genesis in my house, and I play games on it. So I have top 10s. So it's not fair.
Okay, fine. We'll do game.com.
What?
Do you even know what a game.com is?
You just...
That thing had Resident Evil 2, believe it or not.
That's... Ugh. No, thank you. All righty. But thank you, Tom. Thank you for your input. We appreciate you. And don't be afraid to comment again, even though I'm scaring you off because of the Super Mario RPG comment. Anyhow.
We'll do, how about Geez, I'd have to go back and look at everything I've played, but
Yeah.
Commodore 64.
I've never really played a 64 game.
Yeah, see, it'd be tough for you to have a top 10 then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but that's dumb.
Yeah, I know.
Anyhow, we have one more comment, and I hit the microphone. It's one more comment from our actual friend in our IRLs, whatever the lingo is, Dragon Knight.
Other people are friends in IRLs too, but this is the one we see on a regular basis.
Yeah, this is the guy we've known for a long time.
Oh, geez, how long has it been? 26 years now.
Dude, don't tell people we're old.
We're old.
That'll kill the algorithm. Anyways, we're old. Shut it, you. Dragon Knight responds with, you two should do Game Boy /Color/Advanced Top 10. No.
hey.
No, but there's a good reason. There's a good reason for it. I didn't have a Game Boy growing up. I didn't have a Game Boy Color growing up. And by the time the Game Boy Advance was around, again, I didn't have that system, but we were already adults.
Yeah.
So it's not fair in a comparison video, like compared to our Super Nintendo games. Like, there's a little bit more nostalgia behind the Super Nintendo games than there would be against the Game Boy Advance games.
I didn't own a Game Boy growing up either. In
No,
fact, I didn't own a portable system
You
at
own
all.
the Advance.
I was an adult by then.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You own the Game Boy Advance, so you would have a list. I mean, honestly, I could give you my list right now of the Game Boy Advance games I played that I really enjoyed. Golden Sun, Golden Sun 2.
Tetris.
I didn't play Tetris on Game Boy Color Advance.
Okay.
Oh, and Advance Wars. Advance Wars is pretty dope.
Okay.
But that's it. That's my list.
Oh, wait a second. You played the Castlevania games. You talked about those.
Yeah, but again, not when they came out. I ended up playing them later.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's not fair for me to put those on there.
Okay.
So the ones I played when the system was out was Golden Sun 1, Golden Sun 2, and Advance Wars.
Goodness sakes, man.
Hey, I'm being honest.
Okay, all right.
I'm being respectful, but I'm being honest. I'm giving my friend a hard time.
Okay.
But if you have a top 10 Game Boy /Color/Advance top 10 list, we'd love to hear it in the comments down below.
Yeah.
And while you're there,
Mr. Sir that I know.
and while you're there commenting, feel free to like and subscribe to our videos. Click the little bell icon so that you know when the next one comes up. It may be a month from now. Who knows?
Try to be more of it.
The editing's a pain in the butt. The editing's a pain in the butt. I'm sorry. All right? Anyhow, I just had to appease the algorithm overlords for that one, okay?
Okay.
So those are the comments. We appreciate you guys, seriously. That all jokes aside, we really do appreciate you guys commenting. And to have four comments to look forward to, that's been awesome.
It is. It's really good.
Yeah, so thank you so much. And by the way, we are up to 25 subscribers.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're a quarter of a way to almost somewhere.
Hey, the number go up. So
Number go up, and we're very happy the number go up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing our videos with other people too. If you're like, hey man, these guys are actually really funny podcasts, you should listen to them. Thank you. Seriously, we appreciate you guys so much. Alrighty, so we got a little bit of a shorter episode today, despite all this. So we only got 3 news stories, really. I got one, you got one, and then you had that special one you wanted to talk about, right?
I'll go back and I'll address Tom directly real quick.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Hold on to your butts. Here we go.
I will play one of those games you listed. Just one. At least for now.
I think it should be Super Metroid. Only because, in time comparison,
I was wondering if you were going to go there.
it actually is the shortest game on this list.
I will think about it.
I think you should play it, and we should record it.
Oh. Okay, fine. We'll do that one.
Yeah!
We'll record that one.
Oh, you heard it here, folks. Monster's going to play a Metroid game, and we're going to record it and play it for y'all.
Yeah, everybody can see just how bad I am at video games. Oh, by the way, if everybody, just to enlighten everyone,
Okay.
almost all the gameplay, at least for all the gameplay for my games was me playing. So you got to see just how bad I am.
Well, okay. But that's why I put, like, for those who actually watched and not listened, I actually put the source of who was what. Because some of those RPGs, I was not going to get the best footage trying to play by myself, so I had to, like, borrow from other people, and that's why I had to give them credit. It's because they did the legwork and they deserve the credit. But man, the games I played, I was stellar.
Oh gosh.
Did you see me destroy those people in Mario Kart? I destroyed the computer in Mario Kart. It was awesome.
Yeah, I didn't send Mario Kart because you were playing that one.
Yeah. I had to cover one of your games.
Well,
and to be fair, you covered my Mega Man X, so.
Yeah.
But again, I probably would have done it better too.
You know what?
Only because I've played that game way more than you have. I guarantee you I've played that game way more than you have.
When I smoke Super Metroid better than you ever could, you can shut up.
Okay. We'll have video. We'll have video proof. We'll have video proof, folks. So keep your eyes and ears on our page, man. It's gonna be a wild ride.
Why did I let everybody talk me into this?
I am gonna have to adjust our audio so much of this. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna do my news story first. So I had some really sad news earlier this year when I found out that Tango Gameworks was being shut down and we were losing Hi-Fi Rush, and it didn't make sense for a game that did that well and was that spectacular to just be discarded like that. I thought that was a really dumb business move. Apparently, I'm not the only one. So Crafton, I believe, is a studio. I don't have that in my information here at the moment. But Crafton, a group, went and bought Tango Gameworks. And so over half, or at least half, the staff from Tango Gameworks is going over to Crafton. And they will be working on the sequel to Hi-Fi Rush, which is awesome. I'm very excited. Because when I first heard about, hey, Hi-Fi Rush got picked back up. Really? Hope it doesn't suck. Because it's going to be in the hands of someone else. But then I found out that, oh yeah, half the people are from the studio are going over too. Oh, okay. I feel a little better about it.
Yeah.
I feel a lot better about it, actually.
So, here's my thoughts on it. I think Hi-Fi Rush is a fantastic game. I'm really happy for them. I think it was the wrong choice for Microsoft to shut down that studio.
Absolutely.
But if I'm going to give Microsoft any credit in this situation, they've done two things with that I can think of that were really good. One, they let the Halo team go. They let Bungie go. They had bought Bungie and they just let them go. I don't know. I can't recall if the Bungie personnel bought or paid off Microsoft in any way, but the team, the studio Bungie, Microsoft let them go, which is something I don't think you're going to see
Bungie
Sony
bought
do.
themselves.
Yeah, but either way, I mean, Microsoft let them go.
Yeah, they allowed it to happen.
And they're doing the same thing with Hi-Fi Rush and Tango Gameworks.
Which I really hope works out.
At the end of the day, they're doing... It sucks. They should have never had to go through it. But
Right.
at least we get to a conclusion that is palatable.
Yeah. I would agree with that. It's kind of funny you mentioned Bungie, though, because I had learned recently that it's weird to say this statement. So it's going to give me a minute just to get the words to properly form and come out of my mouth. Bungie's microtransaction madness was actually reined in by Activision. As soon as Activision let Bungie free, that's that 6-month period after they did that, microtransactions were disgusting in Destiny.
Okay, I don't
Yeah.
follow Destiny very closely.
No, I just but you mentioned Bungie, and I'm like, Bungie's a worse microtransaction machine than Activision? What universe are we in?
Listen, the Bungie that did Halo and then left, Halo Reach was their last game before leaving. That was a different group of people in general, I think.
It could be, yeah. Man, when I heard all that news, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. That's terrible. But I'm excited for Halo Reach 2. Now that you say that, because I want to finish that story or continue that story. That was a story that actually ended
With the start of Halo 1.
No, it ended like that.
Halo Reach.
Well, that Spartan story ended at the end of Reach. That credit scene is very iconic and memorable.
Okay.
But Halo Reach 2 is going to continue the story and say, hey, somehow he managed to pull his butt out of the fire. And I'm interested to see where they're going to go with it.
We shall see.
So it's a completely different side story. Anyways, thank you, Crafton, for taking on the people over at Tango, or at least most of them. Please make Hi-Fi Rush 2 as amazing, if not more so, than the first one. Thank you.
All right. So I have a couple stories from GameSpot here. One really quick. There's a Sega game getting a movie that I never saw coming. This is really weird.
This one would actually be on my top 10. No joke.
Well, we're gonna do a top 10 Sega Genesis.
Okay,
so...
well then I'm spoiling it already. But this one would definitely be on my list.
Okay, this one's not on my list, but I've played a lot more Genesis games.
Yeah.
But if Borderlands movie was terrible, maybe this one will be good. But Eternal Champions is getting a movie, which this game, there's been no release of Eternal Champions since the 90s. The Sega... wait, is there a Sega Saturn version? I know there's a Sega CD version.
No, I think it's just a Sega CD version.
Yeah, and there's a Genesis and a Sega CD version. That's it. And
I had so much fun playing this game when I was younger, especially with my brother. Especially when I found out like the game actually had fatalities, but they weren't like the characters don't have moves to cause fatalities. They have moves that send you into the foreground or background, and that caused the fatality. I accidentally sent a dude into a fan once. I was like, oh!
Yeah, this was kind of like Sega's answer to not so much Street Fighter, but definitely Mortal Kombat.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it was met with some success. It got really good scores back in the day. And the graphics for their time were really impressive on the Genesis. This was near the end of the Genesis lifespan.
For anyone who hasn't had a chance to play Eternal Champions, the concept is one of other fighter games have done this before, but it was like, hey, here's characters from different timelines and different dimensions all meeting together to fight to see who is the best.
Yeah.
And it was really, really wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with this, but I just thought it was an interesting factoid to bring up.
I think this might be the key for video game movies going forward, is make movies based off obscure video games, because people may not know it, and then they get interested in the video game, like, oh, let me play it and see if, how connected it is to the movie, instead of making Borderlands.
All I'm going to say is this.
I gotta throw shade there.
All I'm going to say is this, is there a new Eternal Champions being made?
Well, considering Sega said that they were reviving some IPs.
Yep.
Dude, that'd be awesome. A new Eternal Champions would be so dope.
I hope they keep it 2D. At any rate.
That's okay. There's a great little side segue before we go into the last story, really. Why did I just have a brain fart? Oh my gosh.
The train is out of coal, people.
No. Give me a second. Oh, okay. The Sega Revival. Okay, so for the Sega renewing IPs, they said there's 5. I believe they said there's 5.
There's 5 that have been announced, but there's more in development.
Okay. What IPs do you think that they have not said
Well, there's
or
ones that
teased that you think would be resurrected?
Resurrected.
Yeah.
Well, let's see here. I mean, I guess Eternal Champions could be on that list. I would certainly hope that Shining Force is on that list.
Yeah.
I certainly hope that a actual Phantasy Star RPG in the vein of Phantasy Star 4 is being worked on. I would certainly hope that they're working on a new Skies of Arcadia. What else? I mean, I would take a Virtua Tennis. That game's awesome. Just say it. If you've not played Virtua Tennis, like I get it that it's Pong, but it's really good Pong.
Yeah. So, all right. My choices would be. I mean, obviously, I'm not even going to include Eternal Champions because I think you're right. I think it is going to get remade. Shining Force, like you said, Skies of Arcadia, like you said. Virtual On
would be really good. Virtual Fighter would be great too.
So much, but it kind of got messy when they mixed it with DOA. So,
Virtual On would
be amazing, especially with the advancements in VR.
Yeah.
Playing Virtual On in virtual reality would be sweet.
Yeah.
What else would I say? Gosh. I kind of think I'm just stuck with those. I mean, obviously, we're already hoping for another Streets of Rage. We're already hoping for another Golden Axe, which they kind of teased at. So those would kind of be my other like really go-tos. As much as it's a Capcom game more than anything, another Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yeah, that would be good. Maxima. There hasn't been a Maximo game. I mean, Maximo is basically the new Ghouls and Ghosts.
Maximo and Maximo 2 were the next iteration of Ghouls and Ghosts, which really they didn't link well. They should have linked them to that series better.
Yeah.
The only similarity was, hey, the hero runs around with heart shapes on his boxers.
Yeah,
that was really it. But no, I would love to see another game like that. Really just kind of stand out. A really good 2D platformer in that vein. Woo! Awesome.
Is there any other ones that I can think of off the top of my head? You know,
Daytona.
Daytona.
Okay, sorry.
Sega Rally's really good too. That's a really good racing game.
Panzer Dragoon.
How could I forget Panzer Dragoon?
That's a great question. How could you forget Panzer Dragoon?
Well, I mean, like, there is a remake of Panzer Dragoon already. I want to see Panzer Dragoon 2 and Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's so many different ones. Hopefully, Sega will do right by its fans, but I think they will. I think they enjoy money. So we'll just hope and hold out, and hopefully they'll make some really cool movies. Ooh, maybe there'll be a Panzer Dragoon movie.
That would be interesting.
Actually, I guess I would, if I were to add another one on my list, another Shining in the Darkness.
I figured that was kind of already included.
But no. I mean, like in the vein of Shining Force, where it's like the whole like wizardry, might and magic. You don't see your party, but you know they're there. You're facing the monsters are in your face the entire time. That game.
Kid Chameleon.
Only if they speed up the levels. They have to speed up the levels. Oh my goodness, that game took forever.
You know, I would like to see a
Decap Attack.
Oh gosh, I didn't like Decap Attack.
I did. It was weird and funny.
Space Harrier Afterburner.
Okay. You are correct. Space Harrier and Afterburner would be nice. But I'm just saying. Cap Attack.
I was never a big Cap Attack fan.
Well, to each their own, right?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, Was that made by Sega? I don't even know if that was actually made by Sega.
I don't know, but I figure if anybody could get the IP to it, it would be Sega because they're the only ones who had it. They're the ones that released it.
Probably.
So,
but Sega has a lot to. They have a lot in their bag of tricks, so to speak.
absolutely. And if there's gonna shill out to you one more time. If there's any Sega games you would like to see remade,
Made by Sega.
or Sega affiliate, say something in the comments down below.
All right.
Well,
Sega affiliate. Hopefully they can get Treasure to.
They need to kiss and make up with Treasure and give us our Shining Force games.
Yes.
Honestly, at this point, I would just be happy if they gave me all the parts of Shining Force 3.
I would just love to see another Gunstar Heroes and a Guardian Heroes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Man. Vector Man. How can I forget Vector Man?
Easily.
I thought it was pretty decent.
I mean, it was decent, but,
Vector Man. Comic Zone.
Comic Zone isn't Sega, though,
That's
is it?
Sega.
Is it?
I'm almost positive it's Sega.
Then if any movie should be made, it should be the Comic Zone movie. Oh, that would be stellar. That would be stellar.
Well, you know what?
Anyways.
If Sega remakes all these, you're going to need to get something to play them on.
What a segue. What a segue. What a reach. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. What a reach. All right, go ahead.
You liked it, though. You liked it. So there's an Xbox controller coming out, and
Wireless.
of course. Hello, it's 2005 again. You're getting wireless controllers. So it's Fortnite. Razer's making a controller for Fortnite, and it looks like an Xbox One controller, which is all fine and dandy. The D-pad is definitely reminiscent of Xbox One, not Xbox Series. And it's $100. So it's expensive. It's a Fortnite controller.
It's weird because it's made by Power A. If you've ever seen a Power A peripheral, I don't see them as like top tier. So it's really weird that they're making a controller like this and charging $100 for it.
Well, here's the reason.
Okay.
HoloFX joysticks.
Explain.
So with a normal analog stick, it measures X and Y axis. There's potentiometers in the controller which measure resistance, and depending on the resistance that's measured, gives you an X and Y axis where you have the thumbstick at, and the game interprets that.
So it determines if your character's walking or running in a 3D game.
Yes, but those things wear because there's friction. And, stick drift is a big deal nowadays. And I had that today. I actually went and bought a new controller today because of stick drift. But the controllers eventually are, go bad. But the HoloFX joysticks, there's no friction. It uses magnetism to do what it's
I thought you were about to say it does magic. It's magic.
But the at the end of the day, the HoloFX joysticks don't have the problem that normal analog sticks do, and they will last an exceptionally long time because of that. And so, the controller's $100, but you don't have to worry about stick drift.
Well, considering most controllers normally are $70 now for like an Xbox or a PlayStation, $100 to prevent stick drift is probably a good deal.
And honestly, there's these premium controllers that come out nowadays. There's no reason to not have HoloFX joysticks, in my maybe not so humble opinion.
I mean, it looks kind of cool. I like kind of like the graffiti style it has. I could do without the Fortnite logo on it, but I also understand that that's how you're going to get people to buy it. So.
Okay. That's all I got.
Okay. That's all I got. Bye.
Jeez.
Okay, no, we're gonna call it there. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you. Again, keep up with the comments. Let us know what's going on. We are excited to share video games with you, and we just look forward to recording the next episode and talking to you and getting to know more about what's going on in the video game industry and whether these crazy people will actually give us what we're looking for. Hopefully.
Keep dreaming.
Yeah, I know. Until then, have yourselves a fantastic week. Have yourselves an awesome time playing your games. And we'll see you in the next one.
Take care.
Later.